Welcome to Inside the Introvert. This podcast will have an introduction, an Inside the Introvert section, a newsletter Introvert Dear section, and then some jokes and quotes. All the times are listed down below, so if you'd like to skip around, feel free to do so. This will be my last full episode. I'm going to do one more after this as a finale, but I've decided to stop doing them. I talked about it a little bit more in my previous podcast, but essentially I feel like I'm just talking to myself. I'm not getting any feedback or any interaction or anything like that, so I'm just gonna stop doing them. I thought maybe when I switched over to audio only it would be better, and it is better, but I still am kind of, I'm also, that's a different person, never mind. I wonder if that's the group. I'm walking a trail, and I mentioned it in the other podcast, that it's very nice out today, so there are tons of people. Yeah, I think they stopped. Okay. So I'm gonna have to stop talking here in just a second while I pass them. I think I can go, I don't know. I'm just gonna go this way. Doing all right?
Yep.
Take a picture of these ruins, and there's like a chair sitting here for some reason. And of course people have put their names on the tree beside it. Anyways, the trail I'm walking, the parking lot, I've never seen it this full before. So I feel like a lot of people, because it's such a nice day, decided to come out. And I was hoping that most of them would be playing disc golf, but in my first podcast, I kept getting behind people that walked slower, and there's another group coming at me. Hang on just a second. Hello.
Jesus.
I was hoping I wouldn't meet too many people, and the way this trail works, there's a waterfall, and a lot of the people walk a short distance to the waterfall because it's like half a mile, whereas the whole trail I think is like 4 miles or something like that, 4 or 5, and to go all the way around this lake I'm at. So most people just walk to the waterfall and walk back, and that's their hiking experience. And walking the trail that goes towards the waterfall, there were definitely a lot of people. And at one point, I spent a good 5 minutes behind some people, which I had to edit out because I couldn't talk. They were not very courteous. A lot of people get out, like there's kind of rules for hiking. I mean, if a bicycle's going by, you try to move over, let them go because they're going way faster than you. If you're gaining on somebody at a pretty quick pace, it's courteous for them to just stop walking, move over the side just like a half a step, and let you by. And these were like families that don't get out very much, and I guess it didn't make sense to them to stop, so it took forever for me to get around. And here's another couple. I was kind of hoping once I got off the waterfall path I wouldn't see as many people. Hang on a sec.
No, but it's freaking.
That's what you want to do, is be on your phone while you're out hiking. Shows you I'm not very far out in the woods because it's still a phone service. But anyways, couldn't ever get around them, and but finally did. Took forever. And actually, I waited until there was like a waterfall crossing, and I just like leaped across some rocks instead of using the bridge that they were using. And I'm kind of curious how I'm going to get across this down here. I may have to stop talking to figure it out. It'll be interesting. There's some people down here, but they can't get across right there though. I don't know, this should be fun. I may have to go upstream and find a way to get across. They used to have some bridges, but they got destroyed, and they don't maintain the stuff all that well, so they never got rebuilt. Let's see, I'm still in my introduction. I think I've said everything that kind of caught up from the last podcast, but I will have to pause for a second until I figure out how to get across this water. It's this deep, and I don't have good shoes for crossing that. Boy, I don't know. They turned around. I think the couple I just saw had come down here and turn around. I need oh man, I may have to put my phone in my pocket just in case I fall. Now I'm probably gonna get wet. I need some big rocks. It doesn't help that these rocks are so slick. Luckily I don't have people watching me anymore. I am gonna put my phone in my pocket and start to venture out. Hang on, put my camera on my side. Let's see how wet I can get here. Man, these rocks are unstable. Okay, I am halfway across, but the biggest rock I need to go on looks like it's really slick. So I'm gonna have to go on all fours. Oh goodness. All right, I am making progress. Now I just need to land one jump. All right. Did not get too soaked. Did not slip. Rocks did not give out. That was a successful river crossing. Woo! One of my feet may have gotten a little wet, but I'll be alright. It's nice today. Okay, so we're gonna go into my introverted stories. So I told you in my last podcast that I got Employee of the Year, and I ended up getting a very big bonus with that. So I decided to give a little bit back to the employees because I feel like I definitely should not have been selected. There are people out there that do so much more than I do. Pretty much, I still don't know how I got selected. The only thing I can think is that the committee I'm on, I help the higher ups quite a bit, and a lot of times I stay until the very end to make sure like I'm the, ooh, that's cool. Hang on a second. It's a really cool vine. I stay until the very end, make sure that I'm the last one to go home along with all the other higher ups. So I'm guessing they saw that because this was not something that gets voted on by employees. So, and like I said, I thought in the past, only one of the 4 employee of the quarters could win. My friend said, maybe you were like in second every single quarter and it just added up to you winning at the end. That'd be funny. But anyways, because I wanted to give something back, but at the same time, for 700 people, I was trying to do it in a relatively cost-effective way, so I didn't spend my entire bonus. And I decided on Little Debbie's, and I was able to, I went and looked at the cheapest Little Debbie's, like the ones that were cheap that had the most in them, still name brand and everything, and ended up being fudge rounds, oatmeal cream pies, and Star Crunch. And the day I looked at it, I swear there were 12 fudge rounds in those boxes. When I went to actually make my purchases, there were only 8. And I paid $2 for a box of 12 Star Crunch, $1.50 for a box of 12 oatmeal cream pies. So $2 for an 8-pack of the fudge rounds was like terrible. And luckily I found at one Walmart where they had them labeled for $1.50, but they only had 4 boxes. And even then they had to price, I want to say price match, but that's not it. They had to fix the price because they rang up $2. So maybe I just caught them right on the moment that they were changing the prices, but I actually drove all over town trying to find the best price on those, and I found some good deals. I found some that were $1.50, $1.30, stuff like that. So all in all, I got, because I figured we actually have closer to like 650 employees right now, and I figured not all of them are gonna take one. So I ended up with 616 Little Debbies, and it cost me $105. So I was glad. Everything seemed to work out. That's what I was trying to do, was keep it around $100. And then I spent $30 on more stuff for just my team, so that way they didn't feel left out. So I got them pork rinds, because a lot of them were on the keto diet, and I guess that's good for that. And I got fruit and some vegetables, and then some better, what I would consider better Little Debbies, like the Nutty Buddy bars and stuff like that. So all in all, worked out perfectly. But it's funny because I mentioned my haircut on the previous episode, and it looks like I've joined like a cult or something, because I got my head shaved, and that's not what I wanted. I told them to go short on top, did not mean with a razor. But anyways, I was super worried that people were gonna be, because I'm such a quiet person, and I have a resting, mean looking face. So I was very worried that people that don't know me might actually kind of be like, oh great, he's gonna poison the entire company. It didn't happen. All of them were completely eaten up. I went throughout the day and cleaned up boxes and opened up more boxes to make it as easy as possible for people to get one and all that stuff. At the end of the day, I was actually gonna leave them out overnight, because I leave at 4 and a lot of people are still there. But when I went to about 3:30 to make a final cleanup, there was only one Star Crunch left on one side of the building and 0 things left on the other side of the building. So it worked out. Everyone ate them up. Another thing I was worried about, which I don't think any of this is in my story that I wanted to tell, but I'm just talking on. The other thing I was worried about was, with it being the first of the year, I thought people might be on like their healthy kicks. I was worried maybe they wouldn't eat them because of that, because they're very unhealthy. But nope, everything worked out. But my first story, I guess I need all this backstory to get to it. Thought I heard voices behind me. I was trying to kind of wondering where that other group went. Anyways, my first story, on one of them when I was trying to clean up, this lady that works there worked at my elementary school when I was going through there. She was like in the office or something like that, like a secretary. So she kind of knows me, but at the same time, like kind of doesn't. So she happened to be in there, and I guess she was just needing somebody to talk to, because she said something about her son, and it was like in kind of a cracked voice, like she was about to cry or something. And I was like, do what? And she started telling me about it. And she was telling me about how he was not cooperating, not going to college like he should. And luckily, I've had boxes and stuff, so I could kind of do something with my hands, so it wasn't nearly as awkward for me. But I was just like, oh yeah, I helped her out of it. So that was a very awkward, introverted experience for me. The second story along the same lines is people would email me thanks for it, and they'd also say congratulations on the winning Employee of the Year. And like, I love emails because I didn't have to see them in person and talk to them in person. But at the same time, it was kind of weird because I would say, you're welcome, or I'd say like, thank you, you're welcome. And it almost sounded like I was answering myself, because I'd say thank you for them congratulating me, and then you're welcome for them thanking me. So it was a very kind of odd, introverted experience, which was fine, but very odd. A lady contacted me for a wedding, and I thought it was, which I may have already told this story, I can't remember. For some reason it was still in my list that I hadn't told it, so I'm going to go ahead and tell it now. I thought it was the mom, or no, I thought it was the daughter helping out the mom for the wedding that was trying to get me to take pictures, and I contacted her. Turned out it was the mom helping out the daughter, and so when I called, I was like, well, do you know when this person's gonna, like, she had her cell phone. I was like, well, do you know when this person's gonna get the cell phone back? And she's like, oh, well, I'm the one that's actually having the wedding. But she didn't want to answer my questions. And she gave me a few like she at least gave me the location and stuff. So it's like, okay, well, I got some of the information. And she's like, yeah, I can just message you the rest of the answers. Catching up to these people, or to this person. I don't know if this person's part of the group. They've got a kid and a dog on a fairly long trail. A very young kid. Anyways, I was like, well, maybe she'll get on Facebook and message me. And I waited a few days and she never did. So I finally messaged the mom again. I was like, hey, I called like you asked at the time you asked. And she answered a few of my questions, but I still need some more. So we had kind of a back and forth. Usually it works out very well. Like I have a long list of questions and I send them to them and I'm like, just reply whenever you want and they can send me the answers to all of them. But I had to go back and forth and re-ask her all the questions I'd sent her. But finally got the information, and just proves how much I hate phone calls. They are not productive, and I have a hard time understanding people on the phone. I think that's another big issue with, like when I'm needing names of locations and stuff like that, I kind of need to be able to understand people. And I think a lot of people don't talk very clearly. I know I'm one of them. Okay, I'm gonna pause while we pass this very spread out group. Okay, I'm back for a minute. I'm about past half of the group. I think this other half is walking at a decent pace. So we'll see if I have to pause again. I'll edit out a little bit of that previous because it was a pretty good stretch. My last story is seeing a couple at work that I know that play Pokemon Go. And I stopped and talked to them for a few minutes. And then we went opposite directions. And I'm a very routine person, and my routine every morning is to get there, clock in 5 minutes early, go to the refrigerator, put my lunch up, go to the bathroom, and then get hot water for tea. And I did all that, ended up meeting them again at the coffee area where you get hot water. And I was like, great, I've already said, like we've already had our conversations, said our goodbyes. So it was like super awkward for me. I don't know about them, but it's like great. Oh, there's a cool rock here I'd like to take a picture of. I may have to wait until these people get past it, so I don't have them in the picture. Love this rock. I've taken a picture of it multiple times. Okay. But that's the last of my introvert stories. I'm going to pause for a minute while I go past these people. Okay, I'm back. They did the responsible thing and moved over to the side, finally. The newsletter stories, only doing 2 since I did so many of my introvert stories and I rambled on forever, but that's fine. This is the last episode. It's allowed to be longer. If I can get my phone and flip it back up. You can still be very successful as an introvert. So don't let anyone tell you that introversion is a hindrance or anything like that. It is not. It is, if you can harness the power of it, just accept the way you are and really work to your strengths as an introvert. You will be, let me take a picture of this. You will be very successful. Take it from me, the employee of the year. No, I'm kidding. But seriously, I am very quiet at work. I kind of just stick to my own stuff and try to help out everywhere I can. And somehow I ended up getting employee of the year. So it is very possible. Some people are kind of scared of the quiet, whereas introverts have a good friend in quiet, ourselves. So don't be afraid to push back when people tell you you need to open up more and talk more. Do it when you feel comfortable. Be your own person and be yourself. do things your way. Oh, maybe I did do 3 stories. Never mind, I take that back. And this place also has what I call hard mode trails. Usually I take them. Today I will not, because I would not like to be out of breath while I'm trying to talk. And they are fairly difficult trails. I can handle them fine when I'm on my own. Plus, I don't have my hiking shoes on today. I was not thinking for some reason. I've got some, technically they're called trail running shoes, but they are super treaded. I never lose my grip. I just decided to put on my old shoes, which was an improvement on wearing my good shoes, but not the ideal improvement. The next story. Studies show, actually get more introverted as they get older. And even extroverts, they get more introverted as they get older. People become more emotionally stable, more agreeable, quieter, more self-contained, and it kind of makes evolutionary sense because you socialize when you're young to get out there and get a mate, and then you slow down and become more secure to take care of the family. So it doesn't mean that you become an introvert, people generally become more introverted. And the last newsletter story, if you're ever wondering why an introvert is being quiet, here are some reasons. Because introverts will definitely open up at times, and they can be very chatty. I can definitely talk a ton on certain subjects and to certain people. So some of the reasons, I just can't think of what to say. I mean, there's a lot of times that I don't think of anything that might improve the conversation, and I don't want to waste my social energy on something stupid, so I just don't bother saying anything at all. And I think the times that introverts feel it necessary to talk versus the times extroverts feel it necessary to talk is very different. Like, introverts are perfectly fine being quiet all the time, whereas extroverts are like, there's something wrong. I'm in a mental gridlock is another reason. A lot of times there's so much going on in conversation, especially if there's multiple people. I can't really decide what to say or formulate my thoughts to a point where I want to express it, or by the time I do, conversation has already changed, and now it's like, well, crap, I had a really good comment, but now we're on something different. Too many people are talking. That kind of goes back to the other one. There's just so much going on. Can't figure out a good place to cut in. And I don't know if it's an introverted thing or if it's just a me thing. I am terrible at reading conversations, and it seems like I always start talking right when someone else talks. And I'll be quiet and I'll watch people, and they just, one stops, the other starts, one stops, the other starts. And then I try to jump in and someone else starts at the exact same time. There's a person coming at me at a quick pace, so this shouldn't take very long. But yeah, it might just be an introverted thing, but it happens to me all the time. Hello. I don't think you'll understand or relate to what I want to say. That's another reason that I might not be saying anything. It's hard, especially when you meet new people, that my mind works so differently than other people that sometimes I'm like, I think this will be, if I say this, I'll have to go into deep explanation. It's not going to work out. I'm actually going at a really fast pace. Hopefully I have enough time to do my other 2 finale episodes here, because I wanted to do them all at the same time. I'm talking a lot on these on these 2 episodes, plus I keep running into people. I'm tired or not feeling well. When I get tired, I get extra quiet, and definitely when I'm not feeling well, with introverts, we are very, sorry, I want to make sure my thing was still recording. We are very secure on the inside, so if we don't feel well, that's where we want to be because we don't feel well. So we want to just kind of draw inside ourselves. So that could be another reason. And I'm all peopled out, or I need to recharge. That's another good reason. If I've just done a ton of socializing and I'm just not feeling like talking anymore. I guess I could go down here and take a picture real quick of the water. There's like a trail that leads right down here. I don't think I've ever seen it before. Although I'm on the easy trail, and that could be a good reason, because I almost always take the hard trail. It's weird though, if you go, sometimes I like to go the opposite way, and it's hard to navigate the hard trail because it's not marked very well, and there's lots of like rocks and stuff. All right. And I could be just observing. That's another thing. As an introvert, love to just sit back and observe things. So if I'm not talking, maybe that's what I'm doing. But that's going to be it for the newsletter stories, jokes, and quotes. I quit my job at the donut factory because I was fed up with the whole business. The magician got so mad that he pulled his hair out. Right. Take a picture of these awesome looking stairs in the forest. We got a rock. Quotes. Failure is the opportunity to begin again more intelligently. Don't look at failure as a bad thing. Look at it as a lesson learned. Oh, there's the hard trail. And just keep going and try to use that information to help yourself out. Many things aren't equal, but everyone gets the same 24 hours in a day, 7 days a week. We make time for what we want, what we truly want. So just keep that in mind. I know a lot of people can free up time because of money, but at that same time, everyone gets the same 24 hours. So if you see someone accomplishing a whole lot, don't look at them in disgust or something. Just look at them and be like, what can I do to be more like that? And that's going to be it for the last episode. There's a introduction video out there, but it probably won't do you any good because I'm not going to be making any more, so it doesn't really matter what it's about anymore. All my old videos are on YouTube. All my videos and MP3 are on YouTube. So if you ever want to go back and watch those, feel free to do so. The newer episodes are on SoundCloud. I've got an Instagram and Twitter, but after I post the final episode, I will not be updating those anymore. And take care of yourself because you're not alone out there.